that lift. We need something. You know what? If we'll just take good care of ourselves, and if you'll read the Bible, I guarantee you, your life will change. Because you know what? In that book right there, there is the answer to every problem in life. The problem is you don't know them. And as long as you got the problems and no answers, you're going to continue to have the same old problem. What we call the sixes and sevens just keep coming back around, the same old thing. So you need to find the central idea that's causing that. If you ever feel withdrawn, that's when you decide, you know what? I know I'm becoming reclusive. I know I'm depressed. I know all the windows. Wow, it's dark in here. All of a sudden you find everything just becoming dark and gloomy. That's when you need to decide, you know what? I am tired of living like this. I need to get out and do something for somebody else. When you start living in gratitude and you start being thankful for who you are, you're going to get out of that dump and you're going to find somebody that's in a deeper dump than you, and you're going to help them pick themselves up. But you've got to be willing to go outside yourself. If you're repressing feelings, pushing your own feelings down, you need to take the necessary risk and express your feelings anyway. You know, from being in a family that my parents never talked. My dad, I think I told you, would this year be 100 years old if he were alive today. My mom died just a couple of years ago at 91. So my parents were a lot older than I am. And the thing with that is they grew up in a time where people just didn't talk about their problems. Just didn't talk about it. Everyone knew about it, but we just didn't talk about it. It's like that great big pink elephant in the room. Everybody knows that it's there. We're just simply not acknowledging. Because if we acknowledge it, then we're bonifying it. It's there. It's there. Well, then you start growing up in faith and you don't talk about things either, because if you talk about it, then it becomes true, it becomes real. But then you have to get your mind understood to understand what the Bible says, that we call things that be not as though they were. I'm not saying that I didn't have cancer. I'm just saying that I had healing instead. I spoke to my body. I said, you know what? We're going to live a long time. I couldn't deny what was on film. I couldn't deny what was on the CAT scan. Couldn't deny that. But what I did not allow was myself to agree with that was going to be my end. I made the statement that said, you know what? I would much rather believe God than that little oncologist at 102 pounds at 5'2". And I told her, I said, you know what? I believe in something bigger than you. And she kept saying, well, you know, I understand that PMA and all that stuff, but, you know, you're dying. I said, well, so are you. And the whole point is that what are you going to believe? Whose report are you going to believe? Whose report? You know, I'd much rather believe the report of the one who created all the earth, and me included, than the person who is simply part of his creation. I'd much rather go to the top than to the bottom. We are going to come into the likeness of Jesus Christ, but we have to do our part. Some people medicate discomfort through alcohol and drugs. They distract themselves through compulsive behaviors, eating or shopping. They hide from life through isolation, shutting everyone else out. They deny their own needs through control and manipulation of others. They escape reality through fantasy, and our group is really good at that. Soothing our low self-esteem through people-pleasing. So I want to talk about the rewards of step 10, this daily inventory that we're going to talk about in just a moment. Your relationship problems will diminish. Anybody for that? Or have you got it all figured out? If you do, Oprah is looking for some new talent. She's got program time on her Oprah channel. She's looking for people. If you got it all figured out, just call her and she'll take you on. We've got to learn to take inventory and admit our wrongs promptly dissolves many misunderstandings without further incident. 2, we learn to express ourselves and not fear being found out. You know what? When I came out, I don't have anything else. There's nothing back in that closet that I'm afraid of. Being in ministry, the thing that would be the wrong would be being found out about that. I mean, you could be divorced, folks, and still be accepted on Christian television. Because there's a guy in San Antonio who was the chairman of the Alumni Association for ORU, who's on television, one of TBN's top people, and he is divorced, and he's still there. But you can't be gay. Well, the Bible says, you know, if you divorce a wife without cause, you know, you're a reprobate. That means that we're both reprobates. And we both deserve television time on TBN. I think fair is fair. We no longer have to pretend that we are flawless, and we can be candid about admitting our wrongs. It's terrible finding out that you are not perfect, isn't it? Suddenly having to realize the fact that, you know what, there's nothing you can do to be perfect. No matter how hard you try, you'll find something else that's not, and it will just more expose your imperfections. It's like going to the little mirror in the haunted house. The hall of mirrors, remember those? None of them make you look good. That's the miracle that I was looking for. The mirror that made me look right. You know, fat, skinny, tall, thin, all those kinds of things, but you never find one that really made you glamorous. If they had that, I think everybody would have gone. But learning that we have faults. Through admitting our own wrongs, others may become aware of their own behavior difficulties. See, when I recognize that it's easy for me to help other people by admitting my wrongs. Somebody sent me a neat little note from Facebook. They saw some of the videos that we're doing here. And they said, when I told people that I was a liar, that I had lied for 46 years of my life, that set them free. Because they never heard anybody in ministry ever said that they were a liar. And they never realized that ministry people lie. We call it evangelistically speaking. We do. You know, how many were there? Oh, thousands. Maybe. Evangelistically speaking. So I want to read you some things, then we're going to go to this little handout here. As we recover from resentment, has anybody ever had some resentments? I know I have. I'll frankly tell you, I resent the fact that my wife expected me to take care of her whole life. And that after our divorce 10 years ago and her writing books about me, I'm still taking care of her. I resent that. I resent the fact that she said on national television umpteen times that I never even gave our children money for milk. And put that in a book. I resent that because it's a lie. It's a lie. As we recover from our resentments, we begin to feel more tolerance for other people on some occasions. As we recover from resentments, we focus on our own personal inventory. We release the need to retaliate. And I'm telling you, I work on that every day. I work on it every day. And it's not easy, because your children will help you remember those things. Forgive those who hurt us. Accept some blame. Feel compassion for others. That's what happens when we release resentment. When we recover from fear, how many of you have ever had fears before? We'll feel less threatened. We'll embrace change. We'll rely on God more. Feel more joy. Face our fear honestly, and we'll learn to pray more, trusting on Him more than ourselves. As we recover from repression or inappropriate anger, we begin to express anger more appropriately. And it's okay to be angry. It's how you do it. You know, you don't pick up something and throw it at somebody because you're angry. You know. It'll help you identify hurt feelings, make reasonable requests. It'll help you set limits for yourself. You'll enjoy some inner peace when you let go of the anger. It'll be good. It'll help you reduce stress and anxiety. Again, it goes back to drugs. You know, if I'm still stressed out, let me take something for that. Well, the problem is, when are you going to get off of that? All you've done is you've transposed one problem for another. And you're not reaching for God instead. Anybody ever sought inappropriate approval from people? Looking for approval? Working for it? I have. Learn to recognize your own needs. Tell the truth about how you really feel. Be loyal to yourself. It's okay. It's okay to put yourself first. It is okay. It's self-defeating to think that you're not important because you really are. It'll help build your confidence. Stop being caretakers. Anybody here ever felt like you need to take care of other people? I know. Stop feeling the need to rescue people. Start taking care of yourself. Develop your own identity. I know a lot of people, and I have a relative who's like this, who's been married now, count them, almost as many as Elizabeth Taylor. And he told me verbatim, he said, I just feel that she needs to be saved from herself. Well, you know, he's going to find out that there's still women out there that once he saves one, he's going to find another and another. And he did. And he'll leave one because he got that one all fixed up, and you go look for another one. Get that one all fixed up, go look for another one. I said, how old are you going to be before you stop getting married? Grow up. Anybody got control issues? You can't even control your hand from going up, can you? When we give up control, we learn to accept change. We learn to trust ourselves. And we accept others as they are instead of trying to change them, make them perfect. It empowers other people when you give up control. I'll tell you something. It's been one of the hardest things this pastor has ever done is to let other people be in charge. But it just shows you God can work through you or around you. Find ways to have fun. Reduce stress levels. Anybody here ever have abandonment issues? When you have those fears and we begin to get release from that, when you decide, you know what, I have no fear because you said that you will never leave me nor forsake me. Be honest about your feelings. Be comfortable about being alone. Consider your own needs in a relationship. Reduce our caretaking traits. As we become comfortable with authority figures, we begin to feel free to cry. I know some people that can't cry because they're so afraid of letting other people see how they really feel. I learned to go. Let it go. Let it go. It's okay. Oh, you can't because you're a man. All those, they're lies. Let them go. Afraid to express your feelings? You'll feel healthier when you do because you'll be more true to yourself, more honest with yourself. You'll cultivate supportive relationships when you let other people see that you're just like them, human. You'll let people help you. It's difficult to be on the other end of that hand, isn't it? Instead of being the person that's always doing all the help, finally deciding that, you know what? If you let God, He will help.